Hello, this is your host for the most, the AN to the R. Welcome to Jelle podcast. Today, guys, we're going to talk about financial literacy. Again, this is important. This is really important for every brown, black, every people from the bottom, every person from the bottom who needs to who wants to have a little bit more when it comes to money and freedom. Why is financial literacy attached to freedom? Okay, so no matter what you think, nothing is free in life. You understand? Um, Even though you have money, this money wasn't free. Nothing is free. Even your own life is not free. You came under certain condition. Those conditions were fulfilled mostly by the transaction of currencies. Money is a currency. Good morning is another. Respect is a currency. So nothing is free. To live a long and healthy life, you need to respect currencies and how it's exchanged in this world. The currency of respect is that I don't need to take no disrespect, for example. Right? The currency of money is that if I want to buy food to eat because I'm hungry, well, I just get to give the exact amount of money required for the transaction to get my item. So you understand that nothing is free. If I want to survive in this life and able to maneuver and do whatever I need to do or I want to do, I need to know. Knowledge is another currency. There's a lot of currency out there. People maybe don't know, but it's really important to know that we live in a world that's not free. If you want to go to heaven, guess what? You gotta know God. Understand? You gotta know God. This is the currency, right? So the world is a system of currencies, and the better you know, the better you end up at. Okay, financial literacy, meaning how to read the word of finance. That includes what? Money, bank, institution, like insurance, businesses, market, any economy, anything that has to do with what we call finance, financial literacy. Literacy because you want to read it, right? You want to be able to understand its ins and outs. Understand that there's a way for you to have a better understanding of the life you live in, because a lot of people live their life not knowing actually why the price of the gas is going up or down. They don't understand inflation. They don't understand the banks. They don't understand jobs. They don't understand the difference between an employee and an employer. They don't understand taxes. They don't understand the word of finance. So you understand that this word is a is a book that you have to learn its language to better understand it. So today we're gonna focus on how to read the financial. We're gonna learn how to maneuver in this financial world, right? So let's start from the beginning. I think that what we should start learning is money itself, the center of every monetary transaction. Money itself. What is money and how money was created? So this is something that I don't actually know, but let's see when the money was created, because it's important. This is part of the history, because why do we use money today? Like, where does it come from? Is it godlike, or this is something we kind of just made up to better our life, So we're gonna ask Google when money was created. So it wasn't until about 5,000 years ago that the Mesopotamian people created the shekel, which is considered the first known form of currency. Gold and silver coins date back to around 650 to 600 BC, when stamp coins were used to pay armies. Some evidence suggests that metal coins may be as old as 1250 BC. 1200. So money was created. They said that 5,000 years ago, the Mesopotamian created the first form, or the oldest form of currency known. 5,000 years ago. The question is, why? Why do we need money? Why did the Mesopotamian people did that? Right? Why did they do that? Why did they created the money? So we're gonna go now to Wikipedia and we're gonna look it up real quick. Overview. Theories of money supply. Okay, let's read that real quick. Okay. The invention of money took place before the beginning of written history. Consequently, any story of how money first developed is mostly based on conjecture and logical inference. The significant evidence establishes many things were traded in ancient market that could be described as medium of exchange. This included livestock and grain, things directly useful in themselves. So, to start, before money, we were exchanging livestock and grain. Simple. Things that we need directly to consume, right? Things directly useful in themselves, but also merely attractive items such as cowrie shell or bets were exchanged for more useful commodities. However, such exchanges will be better described as barter, and the common bartering of particular commodity, especially when the commodity items are not fungible, non-fungible, does not technically make that commodity money or commodity money, like the shekel, which was both a coin representing a specific weight of barley and the weight of the sack of barley. Due to the complexity of ancient history, ancient civilization developing at different paces and not keeping accurate record and having their record destroyed, and because of the ancient origin of economic system precede written history, it's impossible to trace the true origin of the invention of money. Money was created before the invention of written language, so we cannot really get the true origin of money. Further evidence in the history support that the idea that money has taken two main forms divided into broad categories of money of account, debit and credit on ledger, and money of exchange, tangible media of exchange made of clay, leather, paper, bamboo, metal. We have money made of bamboo. This is crazy, bro. As money of account depend on the ability to record account, the tally stick was a significant development. The oldest of these dates from the origination about 30,000 years ago. The 20,000 years old Ishanga bone found near one of the sources of the Nile in the Democratic Republic of Congo seems to use matched tally marks on thigh bones of a baboon for corresponding counting. Accounting record in the monetary system sense of the term accounting, dating back for more than 7,000 years, have been found in Mesopotamia. So accounting system have been found in Mesopotamia dating back to 7,000 years. And documents from ancient Mesopotamia show lists of expenditures and goods received and traded in the history of accounting, evidence that money of account predates the use of coinage by several thousand years. So people were using means of exchange way before we created money with coins. David Graeber proposed that money as a unit of account was invented when the unquantifiable obligation, I owe you one, transformed into the qualified notion of I owe you one unit of something. In this view, money emerged first as money of account and later took the form of money of exchange. So credit came first and then the paper money came later. I owe you one, meaning the word, the credit, like I owe you one. Money of account was created first. Like I was going to you without anything but a word on a paper saying that I owe you one, until money, the money of exchange came, the paper, the physical one. I owe you one, it could be anything. While not the oldest form of money of exchange, various metals, both common and precious metal, were also used in both barter system and monetary system. And the historical use of metal provides some of the clearest illustration on how the barter system gave birth to monetary system. The Roman use of bronze, while not among the more ancient example, is well documented, and it illustrates this transition clearly. First, the Easwood rough bronze was used. This was a heavy weight of unmeasured bronze used what was probably a barter system. The barter ability of the bronze was related exclusively to its usefulness in metal smithing, and it was bartered with the intent of being turned into tools. So there were exchanges, money made of bronze for its usefulness in creating tools. The next historical step was bronze in bars that has a 5-pound pre-measured weight, presumably to make barter easier and more fair, called is signatrum, signed bronze, which is where debate arises between if this is still the barter system or now a monetary system. Finally, there's a clear break from the use of bronze in barter into its indubitable use of money because of lighter measure of bronze not intended to be used as anything other than coinage for transaction. The Aes heavy bronze, or as, is the start of the use of coins in Rome, but the oldest known example of metal coinage. Gold and silver have been the most common form of money through history. In many languages such as Spanish, French, Hebrew, and Italian, the word silver is still directly to the word for money. Something other metal were used, for instance, ancient Sparta minted coins for iron to discourage its citizens from engaging in foreign trade. In the early 17th century, Sweden lacked precious metals and so produced plate money, large slab of copper, 50 centimeters or more in length and width, stamped with indication of their value. Gold coins began to be minted again in Europe in 13th century. Frederick II is credited with having reintroduced gold coins during the Crusades. During the 14th century, Europe changed from use of silver in currency to minting of gold. Vienna made its change in 1328. Metal-based coins had the advantage of carrying their value within the coins themselves. On the other hand, they include manipulations such as the clipping of coins to remove some of the precious metal. A greater problem was the simultaneous coexistence of gold, silver, and copper coins in Europe. The exchange rate between the metal varied with supplies and demand. For instance, the gold guinea coin began to rise against the silver crown in England in the 1970s and 1980s. Consequently, silver was exported from England in exchange of gold import. The effect was worsened when Asian traders not sharing the European appreciation of gold altogether. Gold left Asia and silver. So I was saying that this is where the money came from. First was money of account, then money of exchange. Now here they say there's two theories, Now, that was just brief history of how the word money, the notion of money, came into our world. It existed before. It was called bartered. We were just trading things. We were trading livestock. We were trading things that we need to use right away. Useful stuff. Then came our words, I owe you one, till came the money of exchange. So this is interesting, right? So money has been part of our lives for forever, man. As long as we can remember, before the written language. Why do you think that is? Because we're social people. We're sharing stuff. We're not like animals. I want to say an animal, if he's not your tribe, if he's not your fam, there's no sharing. And there's no trading. I think money is because we trade things. When in your animal world, it's just fight for it. There's no, there's either you get it or you don't. Either you get the food I have in my mouth or you don't. Right? But in human, it's possible to trade. We're trading things because we know the usefulness of everything, right? So money is useful. It's a word of exchange. It's a mean of exchange. It's a medium. So we need money. Now, how do we get to understand money and how it best serves us? That's the question. That's the $1 million question. And because we live right now in America, we're going to take the example of America and how the money works. Money in America is created out of thin air. How is it created out of thin air, you will ask me, right? Well, that because it's not backed by anything. It was removed from the gold standard in 1970 by the President Nixon. He removed it. Before, the dollar was based on the value of gold. The more gold you have, the more value your money has. The less gold you have, the less value your money really have. That and also how many people trade with your money, how many people accept your money. So the value of your money was based on gold, the amount of gold that your central bank have, and also how many market use your currency, right? But it has to be backed by gold, because I want to say that because gold was finite, we had issues because at the time we needed money to finance the war in Vietnam. And the more you print money, the more its value decreases, because you have a finite amount of gold. So if you created too much money, if you put too much money in the market, it goes down. Remember, demand. So when you want demand of offer and demand, right? So your amount of gold is finite, but if you keep printing money, the amount of gold is like this, and the amount of money that it represents, the dollar is $1 is because you have 10,000 pounds of gold. Now you have $2, but you still have 10,000 pounds of gold. So before you have $1 over 10,000, now you have $2 over the same 10,000. What do you think the money goes down? Because if the numerator, the higher the numerator, the lower, the closest to 1 it goes, right? And when it becomes 1, then what happened? It goes above 1. And if it's bigger than 1, if there's more money than there is gold, well, the money goes down. The gold itself loses, right? So he just removed it. He just took the money out of he said it is what it is. Now the money we call dollar is what we say it's worth. It's just a word on the paper. And people accepted it. People just say, okay, no problem. Because the dollar was accepted in many markets, they said, why not? So now no more gold standard. So today, the federal bank, you just issue notes. I forgot the name of those notes. Let's look it up. You know, you have to come up with real, real term for our audience. I think bonds. It's called bonds. It's called bonds. Let's look it up, guys. Research, right, guys? So securities. If you want to know really how federal bank creates money out of thin air, read the book called The Monster of Jekyll Island, whereby the federal bank was founded by 4 or 5 powerful character in the history of the United States. Among them was J.P. Morgan. But he was dying, so he was represented by his son-in-law, I think. But yeah, they created the federal bank, and today, well, the money we have is just flat money. It's gazebo. It doesn't really worth much. It's just worth what we say it's worth. And there's an infinite amount on the market right now. There's more money than there's people. So when you know that, you understand that. So how and why people are running after money like that? Why do we, hypnotized by its power? It's because we don't understand what it really is. Money is just it's a tool, actually. It's a tool that allows us to acquire assets. Those assets called not means of exchange anymore, but they produce value in our lives, and that value increases usually over time. But I give you an example. When you think about real estate, right? Real estate is considered an asset because over time it gives you cash flow, and over time it appreciates and is worth more. So when we say that money, it's a tool to acquire asset, you should use the money you have to acquire asset, because that now asset will work for you and brings you more money. It's simple. It's how the system works. And if you don't believe me, look around you. You will see that most people who are super rich, you call them super rich, they don't have actually an incredible amount of money. They just have what we call cash flow. They have an incredible amount of asset that create cash flow. Cash flow is a constant income coming in during a fixed period of time. Every month, every year, you get something. You get a return on investment, ROI. When you get those ROI, now you become a wealthy person. Okay? So money is actually just a tool that's supposed to make you able to acquire those assets, right? Now, most people use the money to acquire liabilities, which are, instead of producing more money, they actually take money away from us. Let's take a car that you use to go to work with, or a house that you live in. Is just a liabilities, because the only thing he does for you, he takes money out of your pocket through maintenance, through time, right? Through taxes. into its even purchase and sale. Right? All these things together combine take money out of your pocket. So you have liabilities and you have assets. Money can get you both, but the system that you should be aware of is that you want to get money to acquire asset, and those assets are going to pay for the liabilities, because we need liabilities now, right? We need liabilities because we that's how we truly enjoy life, right? We need a car to go faster. We need to go on vacation for the kids, Disneyland, and have fun. So this is why you need to learn financial literacy. It's simple. It's simple as that. If you want to good sources of information, I sent you to read people like Robert Kiyosaki with Rich Dad Poor Dad. I invite you to read what's his name again? The one with the business. Let me see. I invite you to read I forget his name. Business book. Let me see real quick. There you go. Tony Robbins, Money Master the Game. You can read Tony Robbins, one that I like a lot about real estate. You can read Grant Cardone, 10X, or books that he has about. There's a lot of books about. You can read The Richest Man in Babylon. Man, there's so much books. Ray Dalio, Principles. There's so many books you can read about money and how it works. Now, if it comes to podcasts, one that I like a lot, Wall Street Trapper. You have also Earn Your Leisure, right? And you have 19 Keys, right? So I invite you guys to be more aware of the world you live in, and hopefully, you will have a better life. All I hope, actually, by telling you all this is because I want you to have a better life. So this was Njele Podcast, episode 3, season 2. We don't play here. Don't know where you are. We only go forward. Alright, guys. It's been way too long. If I could lay down beside you, I would. When nothing really matters, that's all I wanna do. I hope that you are safe and